Sudafed. Do you take Sudafed? Do y'all take Sudafed?
Listen, I used to pop Sudafed like it was candy when I was a kid. My grandma would
As
roll
a, I
that
was gonna say,
shit out
I
to
only
me.
did as a kid.
Yeah, she would be like, "You need a Sudafed. The allergies are out."
Or Dimetap.
Basically giving me crack as a
toss it
child.
back. Yeah,
Like,
Is
you
Sudafed-
can't buy Sudafed without showing your ID because they make meth out of it.
correct.
Is that the one I'm trying to think of? Like that
Red
makes it makes me fall asleep. Is that Sudafed?
Depends.
Oh, that is totally what would happen to you.
But it makes like my grandfather. So like we'd work on my grandparents' farm, and I would have to take Sudafed, and I would fall asleep.
Are you
like
thinking Benadryl?
Benadryl. This is
Okay.
where I'm. That's
Okay,
why I was like,
that's
it's not
Yeah,
Sudafed.
Sudafed's a tiny little red pill
So
that
is Benadryl. Usually would come in a red, but
Pink.
whatever.
Fuchsia.
Pink. Okay, but you're
I mean-
colorblind. It's okay.
No.
No, I think maybe.
no, Sudafed is like you make meth out of it. Is the bottom line, and I took
Right.
plenty as a kid.
Let's go ahead and just get something out of the way. I am wearing the same outfit that I was last time we recorded, and the reason I'm saying that is because it will either look like you're a diva and you changed and I have it on a hat, or we can just say what's true. The reason I remember I was wearing this outfit is because Claire was like, "You look so cute."
Well, you're welcome, and it sounds like you're protecting both of us. I did not change clothes. You just never changed clothes.
I've been in this for weeks.
I'm wearing a similar thing because I also just came from a workout thing.
I'm going to
and
be
so I
honest.
didn't-
Well, you always are wearing a similar thing.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. It's my
You're
thing.
the Steve Jobs of my life.
Okay, based on
Outfits only.
Outfit choice.
Yeah, I'm
okay.
not like as a
Not
human.
other, okay.
That'd be weird.
Unrelated to our topic today, for our warm-up
Ooh.
mixer,
Mm-hmm.
one or two things that just gross you out
Body hair.
on the body, like
Yeah.
hairy men,
Hairy.
women.
Anybody.
Body hair.
So you're probably really struggling with this movement of like a lot going on
Yeah,
for everybody.
I ignore it all together.
Oh.
Well, we would expect nothing less.
Like you can hold
And
down
that
and
is the
hide,
most on trend thing you have said.
yeah, like you can hold down like not interested in that video. And
Okay.
So the algorithm knows I want no part.
So body hair, not for you. Anything else?
Yeah. But I mean like bathroom stuff that's not my children or whatever.
Sure.
Yeah. But I mean that's normal.
We've heard
Really?
about that. It's not normal. You are actually, I feel like you really struggle with it more than most.
Mostly I'll say this. Yeah, from a privacy standpoint, sure. But also then from like a humor standpoint, I don't like it. I feel like it's like the lowest low.
It
You-
makes
Wow.
us think you've never shit your pants, and that is not fair.
You totally never know if I had.
You're
I'll
right.
Tell you that.
That's right. Did you like freshen up with men's deodorant before we got here?
Well, I came home from the gym and didn't shower, so I definitely put on deodorant. Yes.
Smells good.
Oh, thanks.
You're welcome.
We can smell you.
That's it. It's
Laura?
just deodorant. Yeah.
Things that gross me out.
I'm talking gag.
Yeah, dog vomit. Like watching my dog like and then vomit and me going, I'm gonna have to
Have to
clean
feel
that
that
up.
under the paper towel.
Oh, I cover it with like recycled grocery bags and like
whole thing.
I can't. And the whole time I'm like, yeah, that's really bad for me. Watching someone vomit, no go.
Sure.
Just really anyone vomiting. And trash, like trash that you've already put in the trash can. For instance, like when we're at the lake, we have to take the trash like a mile,
So
because
far.
you've done it. And one time Shane was like trying to He-Man the trash toward the dumpster, but it was so heavy and full of stuff that it hit the side and exploded everywhere. And the disgustingness of picking up that trash.
So the double trash gets
Double
you.
trash. I hate it.
Yeah, I'll say the last time I was at the lake near y'all's place with my next door neighbor here, her family has a place up there, and I was doing the dishes, and the garbage disposal, if you go by the brand name, had like this cool little, mesh, whatever, and I went to empty it. But if you release it, part
I'm
of it,
gagging
a
already
little
for some
part
reason.
fell in the
No,
very full
it's
garbage
over.
can.
I'm like, time to get a new one. Fuck it.
What's wrong with me?
She's actually gagging. Here's the thing. So
Okay.
I had to spend 40. I didn't have to. They were like, leave it. Don't worry. We'll buy another one. I was like, no, you won't.
Same.
Not
I was
on
like,
my
it's-
watch.
It's my first time at your lake house. No, absolutely not. I'm going to find it. So I had to pick through every bit
Nope.
of that
Nope.
weekend worth of garbage. Little kids there, everything. Yeah.
You're such a good person. Okay, what about yours?
Immediate gag if I see somebody spit. Like, especially if they do the whole
Oh,
that.
Oh.
I don't want to see it on the ground. I don't want to see it come out of your mouth. I don't, even if my kids, like if they blow a spit bubble, I'm like, you have to leave the whole house. I cannot stand it. I've never been able to stand it. Immediate gag. I gag all the time. I'm easy.
We've just
Easy gagger.
witnessed,
We
yeah.
did. We watched you
Yeah.
almost throw up.
Dog vomit, no problem.
What? Oh, it's
Something
so
about in a
nasty.
sink or I can't even say it. Like my mouth starts watering in a bad way. Like loose hair. Like if I get somebody else.
Oh, she's gagging. Do you gag when other people gag?
Yes.
Sometimes.
I've seen videos of
I do.
people
Sometimes.
that's a funny thing when people can
Pitch
get
Perfect, when that girl just started like projectile,
Yes.
I was like, I'm out. I can't
No,
even watch
none
this
for me.
movie.
Yeah, just anybody's. I don't want to see your hair in your shower. If I'm a
It is
guest,
the
get out.
most disgusting thing to see hair in a shower. I can't. I will switch hotel rooms immediately. All right, what are we talking about today? Oh, wait,
I
I'm
kind
so
of
sorry.
liked this.
Also, I have to say really quick, how did the retreat go? You guys had a bunch of listeners like hang out with you for a weekend, which is crazy town.
No.
But I'm very interested.
I
How
mean,
did this
only
go?
one snuck into our room and got in between us. But
Yeah.
outside of
You
that,
guys shared a bed?
Yeah,
no,
we
just
did.
kidding.
That's the
We were
biggest news of the whole
besties.
deal.
Bestie. We took it. We were a bestie pass. Okay, listen. No, my favorite part of the retreat is that Claire circled everybody up before we were going to do our first session. And, we did like a little thing. And she was like, guys, this is so cool. I'm so glad you guys came. I would never do this. I would never go to a straight dinner. I was like, what are you doing? You're not building
I wouldn't
trust.
sign up
agree.
for something like that. I like to be the leader.
And you were a great leader.
That's why I was so curious because I would never sign up for something like that. But I know it sells out and like people do sign up for these things. I've witnessed one of them, so
We
I
had
know.
20
like,
women come, and it
It
was
was-
so great.
It was really fun
It
and special.
really was.
okay. All right.
Today
so what's
we're
the
talking,
topic?
We're talking about, the title is, oh shit, I thought you were a tier 1.
We're doing part 2 of friendship episode.
Which is the most popular episode we've ever done.
Of all time.
I think
Yes.
we probably referenced it the most too.
Yes.
So now would be a great time if you don't know what we're talking about to revisit that episode.
Yes. If you haven't listened to our friendship or friendship breakup episode, we talk a ton about tier 1s. But this one kind of came up because I've had several friends right now just going through a re-establishing like, damn, I got this wrong. Either you got it wrong, like you thought somebody was a tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 friend, and you had them kind of in your circle, right? Everybody else would be like an acquaintance. Or they got it wrong. They really were thinking you were holding a different weight in your life or in their life. And then all of a sudden a thing happens and they're like, wait, but you didn't come to this thing or you didn't do this thing for me. And so that's kind of the theme.
I don't want to put salt in the wound, but you have something in your hair.
Oh my God. Well, I'm a wreck. I've been if we did a day in the life today, y'all would be like, why are you even here?
Okay.
Okay.
Keep going.
Anyways, but it's not about cutting people off. This is just kind of like, okay, if we figure out like this person isn't in the position I thought they were, or maybe they figure out you're not in the position they thought you were, how do we keep them in our life, but just reestablish where they belong in our own brain and heart?
Yeah, I almost feel like this is for our younger audience. Like, I don't any longer.
That's hilarious because all the people that I'm talking about are literally in their 30s or 40s that's walking. This is for women, Will.
Yeah, okay.
Welcome to the
see?
show.
That's why I'm here to ask the questions. I'm here to ask the
I'm
questions.
just kidding. I think this could happen to a dude. I don't know any dudes that it's happened to, but
I'm sure it can. I'm just saying, like,
why did you make that face?
I'm just thinking
immediately.
about how rarely men like go seek out that.
That's true.
Yeah, immediately when I was like, oh yeah, I remember this funny story about this situation. Or that I was like in my like early 20s, like that's when, or like late teen years or something.
Mm-hmm.
And since then, it's like, oh geez,
Well, you've had the same friend since you were born, so
I kind of have too.
it's true.
you're not real ones.
You can't see.
I'm going to take that out.
You have to take that.
So my funny story
Just kidding.
to lead into this, my funny story is that's my pause to make for editing.
Yeah, got it.
Every time I know that there's like laughing or whatever, I have to like pause. Sorry, I'm pulling back the curtains, which this will all be edited out. But that's why I'm like always waiting. Like, wait, there's a moment. So my funny story about this is that when I was, around 20 or something, I was dating a girl that was a little bit on and off at times. And during one quick off period, she started dating this guy that I was friends with for sure. He was definitely friends with my friends. Now, we'd only for a year or two started, but at that time, I was like, I'm out there. I'm like, all these new people and whatever. And he started dating her during like a week. We've been broken up or something. And I was like, hey, man, I don't know. Just like, it doesn't seem cool.
You said something to him?
Yeah, which does feel crazy.
Wow.
I was like, we're friends. He's like, oh, no, dude, we're not friends. No. He's like, we're not friends. He's like, no, I just know you through these people. I was like, oh, you've been to my place. And
he said we're not friends?
He gaslit you
And I
on
was
top
just-
of stealing your
Holy
girlfriend?
shit.
But he so quickly like threw it down that all I could be was like, oh, well, in that case, I guess that makes sense then.
Go
And then you
ahead.
started making a list of all the shit you were going to do to him. You're like, now that I know we're not friends. I'm just
No.
kidding.
And now, of course, I've like
But me
had
in my 20s, I would have been like, I'm getting the shovel. Don't worry. I've got trash bags in my trunk. Let's go.
tons of like business things with him over the years and whatever. And so like, but I just knew then like, oh, he's just kind of got like so much to the point that when Lila grew out of her baby stuff and he and his wife were having their first child, I gave him all of my baby stuff from Lila. Like,
As not friends.
Yeah, it's-
Well,
but
y'all,
of course, I thought he was kind of full of it. Like, I mean, we were friends, which is why we
he
continued.
just wanted to go on a couple
but it was
dates.
funny. It was definitely like a tap down moment. Like, okay, I got it. And then I did kind of think from that point on, like, oh, who are actually I guess there is a difference in just people you kind of hang out with and people that are your friends that
friends.
you would expect to not do
Hope
such.
that people know what is the tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 versus like somebody that just would be like on the outside of the circle.
Okay. For us, I think we decided tier 1 for all of us is pretty small. You can have healthy confrontation if needed.
They tell you the hard stuff.
They tell you hard stuff. You can say no to them. Nobody's offended. They can say no to you. Pretty easy. Friendship, it's a sit in silence if you're in a long car ride if you need to. There's no awkwardness. It's just extreme comfort.
I always go
Right?
back and define it by the car ride.
Yes.
Who will I ride in a car with for a long, like to the beach?
Pretty small. amount
It's
of
a
Or
tiny-
especially, let's say, to the mountains or something like that. Like a 10-hour car ride, that is 100% tier 1.
That
So-
is
Yeah.
maybe only family, and I even think about murdering them. I could do that with a best friend for sure.
Yeah.
Like a tier 1. Yeah.
Tier 2, close enough to tier 1. Maybe not the car ride close, but definitely. Well, actually, let me say this. Tier 1, you don't even have to see that often. They could even live in a different place, but you feel close. Tier 2, I think of more as people you like see regularly. They might be able to pick up your kid for you.
Tier
Let your
1
dog
all
out.
have the list of like what to do immediately when I die. And tier 2 are definitely going to be at the funeral, and they're in my mourning crew.
Sure.
They're mourning for me, obviously, the wailing ladies.
Mm-hmm.
But they're not, they don't know where that list is, and they don't have access to they don't know the code on my phone to like.
Sure, and you might not be calling them in an emergency,
Right.
but
Yeah.
you love them.
Love them and believe they have wise counsel. Like they're in that group of people because like I care what they think. I may seek advice from them. I like the way they live. They're in that tier, and I still like the way they live. I don't necessarily want to live like them, and I don't even know that that's true for my tier 1. I got lots of people I wouldn't necessarily want to be like, oh, I'm gonna do what you do and live your life. But yeah, tier 2. What about tier 3?
Didn't we say tier 3 is like people you want to be closer with, or like that are just kind of peripherally around?
Yeah,
Like you would know their names.
Oh, no, I think that you're going to acquaintance. I would say tier 3 is still like, you may hang out with them. They may be like,
In your book club.
Yes, but they could also be your best friend's friend from
Ooh,
way
good
back.
one,
You know
good
what I
one.
mean? Where you're just like, we're close and we know a lot of the same things, but we don't like, you definitely are not coming to like my close friend
Ornament
hang.
swap.
Right. Cookie swap.
Never.
Never. Book club.
And
Maybe
none of
not
these
even
are
the book
bad.
club.
None of these are bad, by the
Nope,
way.
nope.
1, 2, and 3, all excellent, just different
Mhm.
closeness
Yeah.
levels.
I think I remember as you guys had it as like 1, 2, and 3, and I had it like 1 through 15. Like I had what you just described as tier 15.
Yes.
I think.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
You, I feel like, are like tier 1, dabble in 2, and then it's like
Yeah, that's right.
way out there.
And little intricacies throughout the rest.
Yeah.
What about when you misread the room? Like, for this scenario, let me paint you a picture.
Please.
Okay, so I have a really great friend that has worked really hard to build. She has built friendships, and she's in a. Wait, let me back up. They listen to the podcast. God damn it! I can't share exactly the story.
God, this is like every episode for me. It's like, well, I can't say this because I know they listen or whatever.
Should we quit the podcast?
No.
I'm just kidding.
All right, and this is it. We're signing off forever.
We
because
ran out of
they
shit
listen-
to say.
I really want to share that one, but I'm trying to think of a different scenario.
Take your time.
There's a couple.
We have a battery caddy,
That's right.
so
Yeah.
no
Fresh batteries.
rush.
Great. I really should have thought that through.
Mm-hmm.
They're also two therapists. Mm-hmm.
Do I misread the room? I think people misread it with me.
Mm-hmm. I'll talk about me.
Do it.
All right. I love talking about me. I'm just kidding. Let's talk about me. Okay. I'll give you a scenario. All right. So, for instance, in my 20s, my job required me to be quite the extrovert. Like, that's what I did for a living. I made friends professionally. I was in a referral-based business, and I really love people. So it's like super easy for me to like.
For a laundromat. I think that's important to
Okay,
talk
well.
about. I love that.
It was a dry cleaner.
Whatever.
And that's rude.
Soaps and
First
suds.
of all, laundromat sounds trailer park, bitch. And I had been at least several years removed from the trailer. Okay. Anyways, in my dry cleaning era, and I definitely think there were people that believed I was a tier 1 in their life, and I wouldn't always know their names. But they would be like, okay, Will?
No, I'm agreeing with you 100%.
Okay, I thought you were judging me.
No.
And what I mean by that is like, when I'm with you, I really am all with you. And I love to hear your stories. And I want you to tell me. And when I'm there, and I'll normally check out. Now I've got boundaries and I can say like, hey, I don't actually have the capacity or the time to do this. But back then I had no boundaries. I listened to everything, anything. Sit down with me. Tell me your life story. Let me trauma dump on you. And then you believe we're so close and connected because you told me a scary childhood story and I told you one that made you want to just hug me for 3 hours and hold me like a child. So I would have all these people thinking that I was their tier 1 and I didn't know their full name.
So it was you oversharing.
100%.
And then they were like, wow, she really disclosed a lot.
Sometimes they would overshare and then I would overshare back. But
Okay.
trumpet, like I'd be like, hold my beer. Let me tell you a crazier story than that.
Okay, so my eyes were wrong. I was disagreeing with you. I was thinking it was the other way around. But I mean, definitely tons of situations where people think
Yeah, well,
we're tier 1, and I'm like, I don't know your name.
you're just a guy about town.
Not anymore, but I mean, just
You do a lot.
You do a lot
I'm
in
just
the
made out with the mic.
community.
I have to. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's part
Right?
of my
No,
job.
it's your job.
Yeah.
It's not a bad thing. It's a good guy about
That's why
town.
people think they know you. They hear you every
You're
day.
a part of their life. You're in their ear every day.
That is part of the job. Is that
Totally.
I'm talking to them, and they're not talking back to me.
Yeah.
So we have a relationship that's pretty one-sided, and then we meet, and that's awesome, and I love it. I love that relationship, but I don't know their name.
Right.
Even though they think we're tier 1 or we're tier 2 or
100%.
whatever. Yeah.
Okay, so that happens. And then they call me, scenario. They call me and they're like, listen, my mom's in the hospital. Can you pick up the kids from school? And I'm like, who is this? I don't have this number saved.
Am I their emergency contact?
Yeah, and listen, again, I'm talking about unredeemed, very lost, very broken Laura, okay? When this was like a narrative in my life. But I do think situations like that are still happening. I've heard several women that I'm friends with now that have had some misplaced, misread. I thought they were really, really high up, or they thought I was really high up. How did we get here, and how do I adjust?
Is that a real scenario that happened? The
Yes.
hospital?
Yes, Will.
Wow.
All right. Wow.
No.
I feel like I'm getting a lot of judgment.
I feel like that's a story. Like, that's what people love to hear, is this kind of...
this crazy shit. Yes. Yes.
that somebody said, like, hey, there's an emergency. Can you help picking up at the hospital? And you're
this
like...
is a real thing.
I
What's
know,
your last name?
So what's the story? Like, how did you figure this out? Who was it and
Well,
what
you
happened?
just keep talking. I was like, well, remind me again which school they're at. Like, I remember
and what are
asking-
their names and ages?
I was like, am I even on the list? And they're like, oh, I'll have to call the school. I mean, it's an emergency. And I was like, okay. Thank God her dad beeped in and was like, I'll get the kids. But this is a real... And I was like, I still got off the phone and was like, who was it?
And where are we today? Who is it? Do you know? Did you find
No, we're
out?
friends on Facebook, but we're not real life.
How did you find out who it was?
I called a phone a realtor person and asked them. I was like, hey, just from deductive reasoning standpoint, like, here's what I know. Can you help me narrow down? It's either this person or this person. Who do you think it is? Wow. And she was like, hey, it's that person. I know what happened because we were all kind of like in the similar. This feels like, I feel like even just looking at your side profile, you're just some judgment.
Why are
No
you
judgment.
like paranoid today? Nobody is judging you.
It's because I'm wearing the same outfit, guys. I'm
I
just
like
kidding.
your hat.
Because you had the shit in your hair earlier.
It's-
That's why I'm judging you.
In no way am I judging you. I think this story is wild. It's what makes this podcast what it is. Is like us telling
Also,
these
what
crazy
makes
stories.
me the girl who
It
needed
makes you who you are.
Yeah.
Okay?
who needed a podcast like this.
Yeah.
That story in itself could be a podcast episode. Like this whole, you could just tell that story because that's wild.
I trauma bonded to people. That's what I did.
I don't know.
And when you do that, you do have this.
You attract a lot of open-ended things that you might not have an answer to. We'll call that an open-ended thing.
It's definitely, even to this day, I still don't know exactly how we got there. I believe there was a lot of wine involved.
That's a great one, though.
That is good.
That's a great one.
I know we have a lot to cover in this podcast. I don't know that I've necessarily misread. I'm having this vision of in college. It's like I could find someone in a lot of pain, and my college was like way out. One of my colleges was like way out in the middle of nowhere, and you know, we'd drive 30 minutes. I can remember being like at a Chili's and being like, what am I doing with this person? And then they would unload on me, and I'm like balls deep with someone, and I don't even know what happened. It was like we talked once in class, and we're at Chili's for whatever they serve. I can't, baby back ribs.
I think that's Applebee's, but go on.
We all know I
worked
hadn't
there.
gone to a chain restaurant until I went to college. But what was your,
Chili's baby back
see?
ribs.
Really?
yeah?
Chili's baby back ribs.
Riblets.
I did
Barbecue's
find
all
out. That was beautiful.
Golly, Will.
I'm a little off track here in two ways, but one, I did find out. I mean, y'all know I was called the man eater, and I've talked about that in high school. I found out that one of my ex-boyfriends, when my ex-husband started dating me, he like wrote him a letter or something and said something to the effect of like, she is like a siren, be careful. And I was like, what signal am I giving out that's like ruining these people,
feel like
these
that
men, these
tracks.
boys' lives?
I think that tracks.
Okay, so anyways, skip forward to present day. I wish I could count how many clients I've seen. If my first client was 2010, it's 2015. So sometimes, you know, you see somebody in public and they're thrilled to see you and you're like trying to place them. I know that has happened with clients, and I'm like, because not someone I see now or even in the past few years, but like a decade ago, I'm like, who, what, when, why, where. Or I've looked the same since kindergarten, so I'm pretty lucky. A lot of people do remember my name, and I'm like, please, God, help me place this person.
Me more.
Give me any,
else.
but I can fake like I know you. Not as well as you. You're brilliant at it. But those are my scenarios. It's not so much that I've like accidentally thought I was closer to someone in recent years.
I only say I'm brilliant at it because it literally just happened to us
At a restaurant. I thought.
And you were like, why didn't you introduce me? I was like, hello, introduce yourself. You don't know the code? If I'm not telling you someone's name, it's because I don't know it.
I did redo, and we did find out her name.
Yes, you're
who
brilliant.
you've since forgotten, but it's locked in here.
Hey there, Delilah.
No.
Except that's not a...
It's Delilah.
Was it Delilah? Was that the name?
96.5?
Oh, yeah, no, I'm saying the name of the person. It wasn't Delilah,
No,
right?
no.
She said Delilah.
That's just what she thinks it is, and it's not. But
Mimosa or something.
okay, I've derailed us. Get back to our questions.
Okay. Anyways, so if you're one of these people and you have...
I bet I'm a misleader. I feel bad.
You are a misleader. Hello, pot, meat, kettle. Anyways, when you misread the room. So, readjusting the expectations. That was the goal. Like, how do we do that? The realignment game?
We have a game.
Oh, sweet. I like a game.
Uh-huh. I thought you would. You can scroll. We tell them what it is, though.
Oh, yeah, I got it.
Oh, sorry.
Oh. I'm reading the instructions first.
Claire's like, I'll be in charge of the game today. I'm like,
okay,
got it.
so we've rambled on and on.
Start up with okay.
Okay, because you were clinking your ice.
Because y'all were talking at the same time.
Oh.
Never correct us.
It's unusable. It's unusable.
Okay. We have talked over and over again about tier 1, 2, and 3. And then what Will describes as tier 15, we're going to call those near. So it's tier or near. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to read out scenarios, and there's no right or wrong. Nobody gets a prize, obviously, because I didn't get mine from last time when I won. And you either need to name the tier or if it's just a near for you. Okay?
Got it.
Ooh, these make me uncomfortable. You're going to die. Okay.
No, we'll be fine.
All right. This person shows up to your birthday dinner, but they bring a +1 you've never met. Is this a tier friend or a near friend?
Like without saying? And I have no idea. It's
well,
just
we
total
didn't get that
surprise?
specific,
Yeah, okay.
so we'll say they didn't tell you.
I'm going to go tier 3, and this will just confirm why they haven't been able to run up the ladder.
Yeah, it's a much lower tier because otherwise they would just say like, "Hey, is it cool if I bring so and so?"
But they got invited, so that lets me know they're like close enough in my circle.
Tier 1 would have said, "Hey, I'm dating someone. Can I bring them?" Lower tiers would be like, "I'm a little nervous because Laura never remembers my name. Can I bring? I'm going to bring a friend and not say anything." Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, like, birthday dinner. What?
Look.
Anyway.
We're doing the best we can.
Oh no, I'm saying
with
for me
these
that's the
made
joke
up
because I
game.
kept like the
Oh.
thought of having
We
like
don't
a
want to
large
tell you, but
birthday,
we're throwing you a birthday dinner. Actually, Will.
a large birthday dinner. It's like what?
Yeah. Got somebody to jump out of a cake. Okay.
Oh, I'm there for that.
It's a tier 1 friend, though. All right. You told someone something vulnerable in a text, and they replied with a meme.
It's tier 1.
That's tier 1 for me.
Yeah,
I
tier
would say
1.
tier 1.
Yes.
That's a tier 1. Like because they know they don't have to say anything.
Yeah.
They could probably get their point across just by sending me a meme.
Yes. Me and Amanda, we never get into it, but, got a little spicy. And she sent me the Larry David, "Fuck you, and I'll see you tomorrow." Right. Exactly. Fuck you, see you tomorrow.
Definitely tier 1.
Yes.
And I laughed, and I, of course, saw her the next day.
Also,
All right.
I'm not sending anything vulnerable to anyone that's not tier 1, but still.
You're not sending anybody anything vulnerable,
I was
period.
going to say,
But whatever.
I'm like, my life's falling apart. Help. Okay. You haven't seen them in 6 months, but they Venmo you unprompted for a coffee when you post. Okay, I'm sorry. I can barely get through the whole question because none of us would ever do this, ever. But you've apparently posted that you're having a hard day, which no crying on Instagram. No crying on Instagram. You're having a hard day. So, made up scenario, tear or near? I'd say fuck off, not even in my realm.
Gosh, yeah, that's no one I know.
Laura's like, I've Venmoed 17 people yesterday because they were having a hard day.
I do that for my team when we're on like deadline or something like that.
Because
they're
they
in your
posted on
tier.
Instagram?
I would say that if somebody posted their puppy died or something, you know what I mean?
Okay,
Like that,
you're right.
Like,
I was
okay,
negative.
so like I'm just saying that if I knew that a friend had gone through something really hard, but I didn't know, because maybe it has been 6 months and we talked, I still would say they're a tear, and I feel convicted. I feel attacked because I am the person that if I saw that, I might would do something kind and quiet, like send a Venmo to just be like, I see you.
I got grossed out.
I see.
By the
You
post.
saw people crying on the internet, and I went there with you, but then I was thinking about it through my lens, and I'm like, I would do that.
Okay.
I would.
Yeah. So, I think the weird part of that one is like the crying about something on Instagram or something.
But that's not
didn't
even
say
in there.
crying. I
That's
made it
just
up.
what
Oh,
she
okay. But like
saw.
definitely like, had a terrible situation this past year with both the pups
Yeah.
passing and whatever. And then had a friend when they found out say like, hey, just want to let you know, my husband and I made a donation to the Greater Birmingham Humane Society in Pig's name and whatever. And so that in that
is
case,
good.
That's a very high tier.
Yeah.
And they are high tier friends. So that's
Yeah.
the only example I have of that.
Yes.
Okay, you're right. You're right.
That's the only example I have. If it was a rando and like I made a weird like, an unspecified prayer request
Okay,
for a tough day,
that's gross.
That's weird. Yeah.
That's gross to me. But if I just noticed, because like again, it said the 6 month thing, which just let me know, like maybe you have lost some touch with them, but they're still in my. I would still consider that a tier person.
I'm feeling guilty about my initial response.
No. I think that's validated. I think that the way you kind of framed it did sound pretty
Thank
gross.
you.
Yeah.
You find out this person was in town and they didn't tell you. Tear or near?
Near.
Yeah.
They're not
trying
in a
to think.
tier.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm actually gonna say tier 1.
I have a couple of
You
tier.
fucking kidding me?
I'm gonna tell you why.
Okay. Actually, I see where you're going, but go ahead.
I have one of my best friends lives in Nashville. Her mother lives here, and my friend has a 3-year-old. So when she comes to town, they go to her mom's, they visit, and I would never put that on her to make time for me. It does not hurt my feelings, and she's probably here often. When she does have time, we see each other.
Yeah, it could be tier 1 or 2. It could be.
I would agree with that. I guess I went because I have a couple tier 1s, like one lives in Colorado and one lives in Chattanooga. And if they were all the way here,
Sure.
I would be like, bitch, but in that scenario, I could see that being totally like a tier 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm going to call it near because let me just tell you bitches, if y'all are listening and y'all come into this town and I find out about it and y'all didn't at least give me a heads up and let me know why you weren't going to see me, I'm going to get caught.
You want to be told.
I would like to be.
Not
you don't have to
ghosted.
see me. I don't want to be ghosted.
Look, if my hoes are coming from Nashville, we said,
Sure.
yeah,
How
yeah.
loose of you.
But if it's like from LA and it's only the one time out of the year they're going to come to Birmingham, then I expect like, hey, I'm going to be here. But I definitely have like a very close friend who's here for work. He lives at whatever, somewhere way far away, and I know like how busy he is.
Mm-hmm.
And so like if we get together 1 out of the 3 times he gets to come to Birmingham, that's cool.
Yeah.
I get it.
They only reach out when they need something super quick for work. Tier or transactional?
Transactional.
Yeah.
Easy.
Easy. Transactional.
You text them a full novel about something going on. They heart react and never respond. Tier or triggered?
Reasonable on their part.
I do that shit all the time. Somebody will text me something really long, and what'll happen is I see it, I get distracted, I promise myself I'm going to circle back, but I want to like say that I saw it, so I heart it.
But what if you sent me something long and I hearted it?
And then you didn't say anything?
Correct.
I would be like, are you good? You fucking hate me? What's happening?
Triggered. So to me, if I sent someone I thought I was really close with something long and they just hearted it, I would get anxious.
Oh, totally. I would too. I would call you. I'd be like, what's going on?
Okay.
You're with clients? You hate me? What's happening?
I think I would differentiate this with tier 1 and tier 2. Tier 1, I would be like, why the fuck are you ignoring me, Laura? This is a crisis.
That's true. Hello.
If it was a tier 2 and I thought we were building to tier 1, I'd be like, well,
abort mission.
Misread this situation and I'm never going to speak to them again. I hate myself.
I'm blocking them. Actually, we're done.
So the
with
closer
each other.
I am, the less triggered. If it's like out here, I'm like, whoopsie daisy.
Yeah, I'm pretty relentless. I feel like if it's a tier 1 and you hearted something and I didn't hear from you, I'd probably blow you up later.
They know your coffee order and your childhood trauma. You could go a lot of ways.
I was like the same. Near
1, right?
You
mine
don't
is
have
tier
that
1.
experience.
What would it be for you?
Tier 1. I mean,
For me, that could be literally anyone from my 20s. Anyone from my 20s.
I kind of like
the
this.
coffee would be wrong now, though.
That's true. My coffee order has changed. I have a much more sophisticated palate than just a chai. Vanilla chai.
Obviously.
Not like a chai tea, like an actual like powdered chai.
Totally.
Ugh.
I think it's good for our listeners that they're seeing that there is no like right answer. That we're
No
all
way.
like everybody's situation is different.
Yes,
Totally.
and everyone's tier definitions are probably different too. I mean, we're right, of course,
yeah,
but
no,
like you
Naturally,
can
right, yeah.
Clearly.
You
Put
can
this
veer
in
off.
your...
you invite them to your holiday party. They RSVP yes, never show, never text. Tier near or disappeared.
That's a reevaluation.
Yeah,
If I invited you...
That's a tier 2-ish,
Yeah.
whatever. For y'all, tier 2. For me, a tier 8, I guess. I don't know.
I think I would go like if that happened, I don't know. I would check on that person. I would be like, "Are you good?"
Well, I wouldn't host a holiday party, but if I did, I would imagine the no show, no texters would be tier 2 or tier 3, and I wouldn't care. And if it was a tier 1, I'd be like, "Are you okay?"
Yep.
That's
And not in a
true.
passive aggressive way. I'd be like, "Are you good? This is unlike you."
Yes,
That's
yes,
exactly
yes, yes, yes.
right. Yeah.
Okay, I
Thank
agree with
you.
that.
It is right.
You are winning at this game.
I do like to win. They were there for your divorce, miscarriage, job loss, but you don't actually laugh together anymore.
Good. What?
That sounds
What's
dramatic.
happening? It sounds like a
What-
marriage dip.
I'm like, is this your spouse?
So
Also, like,
you're
Things just evolve, right? I was thinking about
Yes.
this earlier for some reason, and I can't remember the exact situation or who the friend was. But somebody like still would be like, "Oh yeah, like close friend," but I probably really haven't talked to in a few years. Yet it's somebody that used to like, "Oh hey, here's what's happening this Friday. Like you're coming to my house and whatever." But so it just evolves. People get busy. People have kids. And
Yeah.
I think that's kind of I don't know.
I have a friend that lives in North Carolina. I hope she's listening. Her name's Megan, and she knows all my stuff. And we still do actually like we could meme each other. Like we can legit just send each other stuff on Instagram. But she does know all my stuff, and I would still consider her a top tier friend because I know if some shit went down, like we have history. She's probably the person that used to call me out the most on being like, why does that person think that y'all are best friends and you don't know her name?
Yes.
She would call me on my shit. But so I would say, and I do laugh with her, but like not on the phone. We haven't talked on the phone in a month or 2 months, maybe.
But you would still think each other were funny people.
100%.
Yes.
I'm like, she's hilarious. I've gotten drunk with her on accident with champagne in like a hot tub because I didn't know you could get drunk. I was like, I don't feel this at all. And then I got out and fell on my face.
All right, this one I think we're going to have trouble answering because of our age, but I think it would be important to answer for our 20-somethings.
Okay.
Do they listen 20-something-year-olds, do
Yeah,
you
we
think?
definitely have 20-somethings.
We have to at some point let Hunter like yell something into the mic. He's a 20-something. Our cameraman's a 20-something.
That's right.
Hunter, he should answer this question.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah, you're in for this one.
Hunter is filming for us because we needed something more legit than our phones on a coffee mug. All right, Hunter. Just do the best you can here. They always watch your stories, but never reply to your texts.
I would probably say, honestly, it depends. If it is someone who, like, if you're like in your 20s, so if it's like a high school friend who used to be like a tier 1, I would consider them probably like a 2.
Okay.
But anyone else probably is just either an acquaintance or tier 3, or they just don't care about you, like you care about them.
I would call these people my children.
Thank you, sir.
Wait.
I have a lot more questions for Hunter, but I'm going to save that for another one. But
I'll say this though, like I watch people's stories that I don't even know. Like, what do you mean? I'm not texting them.
Same.
so I found out, we might need Hunter on this one again, that a lot of people in their early 20s, like college age, have a main Instagram and then like a sub Instagram.
Lila. Yeah, Lila has.
Yeah.
What's it called?
Multiple spam. Lila spam.
Yes.
Like Finsta, but yeah, spam account, whatever.
So I'm thinking out loud of these people that must have their like smaller accounts. People are watching their stories and then they aren't responding to texts might be painful.
If you're not responding to a text, forget the whole reels or stories thing or whatever.
But
like,
they don't forget these things.
I'm just saying, like, that is the story, is not responding to a text.
Okay.
Well,
That makes your tier, that
listen,
design. Like,
you were born in the 1900s, and so were we. And it is a different game now. Like, text is...
I just will be sending something through the U.S. Postal Service.
I mean,
Just
really.
kidding.
Why are you not talking to them on Snapchat? Like, do you not know how to get in touch with them?
Do you have Snapchat?
I don't use for the kids. Like, would they snap
That-
me?
Exactly.
My grandmother, like, yeah, like, there's like family snap stuff.
That's
yeah,
cute. I don't even have
I don't have it.
I don't even know how to
I
use
don't-
it.
It's,
I-
you know, like,
Okay, we can move on. They remembered your dog's name and brought them a treat, but forgot your birthday. Honestly, good for them.
Yeah. Can't remember everybody's birthday.
Oh, I was just saying tier 1.
Oh.
Yeah, Hunter says tier 1.
I
Look,
thought you were pointing at Will. I
you
was like,
really
I
know
get it.
me if you love my dog. And
Same.
honestly, if you forget my birthday, I'm not upset. Laura did forget my birthday this year,
It's true. I was under a lot of pressure.
and
at
I didn't
work.
care.
You
I
did.
knew you still loved me.
It's true. You were like, "Are you okay?" I did give you those socks.
You
Eventually.
did. My brother took them.
Bitch.
Mm-hmm. Because he saw them. Because we were.
Socks.
Well, we went to that event, and he's like, "I'm gonna wear these," and then I never saw them again. But whatever.
Grateful Dead socks, by the
Yeah.
way.
You cried in front of them once, and they offered you gum. Honestly, that is something close to what Will Lockamy could do to you, and I love you. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's a nice gesture.
It's an
Yeah,
ear.
you're like,
it's an ear
God,
thing.
sorry you
That's-
feel that way.
That's
but
the awkward guy sitting next to you on the plane who's like, "Oh my God, this person is crying. What do I do? Would you like a piece of gum?"
you're a rarity that I would still cry to. This is a situation similar to like I sent someone a text, might have misread our closeness. And if I read that you're uncomfortable with me trying to disclose something, I don't feel like I'm a super oversharer anymore. Ugh, fingers crossed. I would just take that as a little information that we are on the lower end of that tier 2 and 3, and we might just need to.
Just data. Just let that data sink in.
We might
All
still be
right.
friends, and I'm gonna keep some of this stuff to myself.
Okay, so what do we, if you're walking through this right now, let's say specifically, I think the most harmful of this scenario is if you thought someone was super high up in the tier rank and then you find out they're not. Like something happens and it's super disappointing. What do you say to that person? How do they adjust without needing to ghost that person?
Oh, don't ghost.
Yeah.
Like, love their purple. Don't ghost. If you've misread, which I think most of us could have been in that scenario, I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. Hang on.
What? Why not? Just say the things.
To be honest, I would like look at maybe your part. Like, were they giving back as much as you were putting in? Like, I know what I put into a friendship. I hope I get back. And if I don't, I'm not angry. I'm not bitter. It's just information. So I would look at it as information. And maybe it, we have a pretty loose term for like loose meaning of boundary. We don't think you have to be like, I'm putting a boundary in place. Maybe you're just more boundary. Like, okay, I know we can get coffee and go on walks or like hang out in big groups, but these are not my core people, and don't spend any time being resentful. I mean, unless they were mean, but that's not even what we're talking about.
No, yeah, I think it's just like misreading it. And I would also say too, like, lean in. I think sometimes when you misread a relationship, it gives you an opportunity to really appreciate the ones you do have that are really high up there, that you know, like, I'm not off on these 3 or 4 people that I know are just like super tight. And for some people, it's just one. Like, you know, my son is about to move really far away and go to a school. And I told him, and he's like, I'm nervous about meeting people because where I am, I have all these people that I went to high school with and I know them. And I'm like, you know what, man, you just need one. So as long as you didn't misread the one you had, and if that's the scenario, book a therapy appointment, find somebody to talk to about that, because that's really, really hard. But I think sometimes misreading it just gives you some perspective.
And I would say if it's the other way, like someone misread for you, that's an incredibly important place for boundaries. And for instance, there's a mother of a child in one of my kids' grades, and she texts me sometimes like at 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night to make plans for the next day. And that's just not how I function as a parent. I'm absolutely asleep. And I responded and I'm like, hey, I usually have to make plans this far in advance. And like, I just have to boundary this stuff. Like, we aren't that close to be making plans at 11 p.m. And that's what we're going to do.
Also, just as a heads up on 11 p.m. texters, if you ever text them back, you just gave them a permission slip. I've got a lady in my life that,
Yes.
for real, I do not text her after 7 p.m. because I know she is hitting the bottle hard, and it's just not going to be the vibe for me. And that's no offense to her. Like, get after it, sis. But, like, I just know I have a boundary. I don't text those people. So if you have somebody who's crossing a boundary, always wait and text them when it is an appropriate time for you.
I have a 9 p.m. to 9 a.m. unless it's important or just a silly friend thing.
Yeah.
No texting.
Yeah.
9 p.m. to 9 a.m. And I'm up way early
So
in the morning.
good.
Yeah.
And I love, like, my grandmother texts me or whoever early in the morning. It's great. But, like, work stuff, I'm not going to text anybody until 9 a.m. because I
Totally.
don't know their schedule. They may want to sleep a
Yes.
little bit.
Agreed. Yep. I love that. Okay. Well, if you're going through that and it's hurting you, we're really sorry. A lot of compassion around that. But we hope this was funny, because it's definitely funny for me. Thank God I didn't have to
She had a
actually
Good.
pick up that
That
girl.
sounded funny and fun. Our jaws were on the ground.
Okay. Well, it was my 20s. Suck it.
All right, Laura will wear a different outfit next time, and we'll see you in 2
Maybe.
weeks.
Maybe not.